I think what stands out the most in terms of me and what I've seen with the show specifically is people's enthusiasm for it. It's people's anticipation for it. You create a show and you want people to enjoy it, but what's always been the most interesting thing for me is, the people who come in and say, this is what I learned from Shades of Black, and it's a show that's been viewed as being a show of higher caliber. It's not a show that's tasteless. That's always been the key thing, is that how do you create a show, an item, and have everybody enjoy it, but still retain its core, identity. Another thing that keeps Shades of Black dynamic is that it's a different set. I mean, fine, I'm the key element in terms of, who I'm going to recruit, but the idea is to bring in many people with different ideas. Each year, just keep bringing in different elements, different people, and they always have something unique and beautiful to bring. And that's what I feel is giving Shades of Black its strength. It's its flexibility to say, this year we're going this route, so we're going to go to the theater department and recruit 2 or 3 students from the theater department, so we're going to throw in a theatrical element. Or we're going to go to the marching band, so we're going to throw in a drumline element. It's that type of excitement. Everybody brings in what they can contribute to the showcase, and I think that's one thing that more than just the show itself, it's what we're doing to get the show together. You bring in people who may not get to experience this, and part of learning Black culture is working with the Black community, seeing how they act. Some people were here to observe, some people were taping, but you just learned a lot about culture by just how we were interacting as we're practicing. What separates Shades of Black from other multicultural events that go on in University of Idaho and Washington State University? I think, answering that question, I think there's a couple elements. First of all, other cultural events are good, they're strong, they're great events. The powwows, the step shows, the luau's, that's always amazing. But I think what separates Shades of Black is our focus and what we're trying to bring out. Shades of Black is different in the sense that we're focusing on a different element of our heritage, and I think that's the difference in other shows, is that their focuses, but what our inspiration comes from and what defines us as a culture, and what Shades of Black tries to bring out is unique to Shades of Black. And other events are just as potent, but they just have different focuses or different emphasis, and they're telling a different story. And I don't know, I think I will say Shades of Black has always had a creative edge that I like. It's rough, and there's nothing more enjoyable than a show that's rough around the edges.
It's good to be back. It's great to be Black. But the fact that I had to come here twice to do one show is whack.
As college students, I would like to think that we're of a certain intellectual capacity and we are smart enough to take positive things from showcases, because this is not a Michael Jackson concert, so it's not all going to be perfect. Not every dance is going to be on cue. Not every poet is going to remember his poem, But once you walk through that door, you can walk in with your stereotypes, but once you go out, you want to come out with something that challenges your original understanding of a certain culture, of a certain element. You don't have to take in the whole show, but there may be one performance that stuck out to you, and the whole idea is for people to take in something that's prepares them for a more open-minded view on what goes on around them, a more critical analysis of things. And I think that's one thing I want people to walk away with from Shades of Black, because some people are just coming here to watch people dance, and that's cool. You want to get entertained, but there's more to it than dance, and that's what I hope. I think people learn a lot from it.
Hundreds of thousands of these impressionable images of people of color are dispensed to the masses all day, every day.
With a show like Shades of Black, you want it to continue growing and becoming bigger, but you still want it to retain its core element, its core values. And I feel like the day Shades of Black begins to lose its community feel, the day it just becomes a showcase where people just come and do things and it's lost its essence, I think it's the day the show should end, And I feel you know, as alumni, I wanted to keep on growing as long as it contributes, as long as it helps people, as long as it opens up somebody's mind every time they get to perform, as long as it allows people to come on the stage and show a different side of who they are, apart from being just a regular student that goes to class, apart from being the football player who's catching footballs, you know. As long as it retains those attributes of being a platform for expression that people can appreciate, you know, I feel it should keep on growing accordingly. But the day that it loses its essence is the day I feel Shades of Black is done its job. It was a good run, but it's time we kind of call it a day. All right, thanks. Go Vandals. And Cougars suck. Are you taping that?
Sorry. I need to clap one more time. Or if you feel like you messed up this
No, it's your stuff. I hardly mess up though.
No, you Kwapi, man.
Of course.
Is it Kwapi Vengesayi?
Kwapi Vengesayi. I mean, just it's up to you. Always put the T.
Why put the T?
Always put the T. Kwapi T Vengesayi, and
T Vengesayi.
you gotta put the T. I don't know.
No,
Just,
no legal involvement, no legal issue.
just keep the T. The way I figured it was this. Okay, we shouldn't put this on tape. For someone who's trying to take over Shades of Black, I humbly ask you to keep its essence, because as I said, for me, it has a lot of personal elements to it. And I said, losing my mom, you know, 6 days before the show and so it took a whole different meaning. And I think as we, the people who were the original founders of the show, start graduating, I really start to worry, like, will the freshmen or the people after them really understand its essence?